welcome to the Wedding Common. I am your host, Amy Kleitz, and we are sitting here with Martine from Wedding MD. Thank you so much. We have a special little episode here. We're going to talk about COVID. She is a wonderful wedding planner. How has that changed wedding planning for you?
I mean, it's changed it for everybody, not just for myself. I think everybody is a little bit more cautious about what is possible and what they can expect from their planning. Mm-hmm. As a planner, I can say that it's been especially challenging because you can't plan when you don't know where we're going and what's going to happen. Yeah. And so it does make it a little extra challenging trying to get all your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
The number of guests
is
on a fluctuating scale.
Yeah, depending what city you're in and
depending what state you're in.
Yep.
You know, here in
New York,
whether you're doing it in Jersey might be different if you're doing it in NYC versus if you're doing it upstate New York, whether you're doing it on Long Island, etc. Are you going out to Connecticut, etc. And so all the rules are different everywhere. One of the things that I suggest is just making sure that you speak with the venue pretty candidly about understanding what their rules are. I do believe that for the best interest of everybody, we should be trying to follow guidelines.
Yeah.
So knowing what those are is half the battle, and making sure that we understand exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. So what is possible? I mean, to this date that we're in now, what have you found is possible? I mean, the micro wedding has become very popular now, right?
It has.
Explain what that is.
So micro weddings are weddings under 50 people.
Okay.
Pre-COVID. 150 to 200 was a average wedding size.
Yep.
Now we're in some cases limited to 50 people max indoors. Outside you may have more flexibility depending on your state and your area. So I'm not going to quote those numbers because those are on a
changes by the day
changing scale. But right now making sure that you understand whether you're inside or outside what your numbers are. And making sure that you know that some venues are limited to capacity limits. So inside they may be 25% of capacity or 50% of capacity, depending on your location. Yeah. And understanding that even if you can have a max of 50 people, it's whichever number is lower.
Got it.
So 25% of capacity or whichever number is lower.
Okay, yeah.
So depending on your venue, that actually may change your numbers.
So
that includes all your vendors as well?
Yes, it does, yeah.
And so just making sure that you understand what those numbers are.
And also finding out, cancellation policies or rescheduling policies. Obviously, a lot of venues, a lot of vendors have changed a lot of their policies to, accommodate that. Right. What have you experienced with a lot of the rescheduling?
It really just depends on the vendor.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
My suggestion for every couple is to start with your venue because that ultimately will decide the date and the location of the wedding. Yep. So start with your venue and make sure that they have what dates are available for them. Okay. And once you've got that in mind, then talk to any other vendor that you've already booked.
And see if they're available on the new date.
And see if they're available on your date.
Okay.
You may have to make some compromises.
Yeah. That's important.
It's important. And so you have to understand what you're willing to do. So when you speak to the venue, get 2 or 3 dates that are currently available.
Good tip. Yeah, very good tip.
So that at least that way you can attempt to coordinate and make sure that vendors are available on the date that you want. In the middle of starting to plan, or if you've just started to plan your wedding right now, definitely ask about the cancellation policies. Keep in mind at this point right now, weddings are happening.
Yep.
And so a lot of venues will say that there isn't a reason to cancel. You can still have your wedding.
Got it.
It may not be what you were expecting it to be, so
they may not refund you or
they may not refund you or let you reschedule. To be honest with you, so just make sure you understand what those policies are before signing them.
Okay, so that's step number 1. Then step number 2 would be.
So once you've got the date, once you've got the date for a reschedule from your venue, approaching all your other vendors and making sure that we can
reorganize.
As a planner, I will help you do that if you have hired me to.
This is actually probably a perfect time to hire a planner because, having to reorganize to a completely different date has got to be chaos. So.
Make sure that you are also communicating with your friends and family. We all know what the situation is now, but keeping expectations open.
Yeah.
So that everybody understands what's happening.
Yeah.
I personally, if it were me planning my wedding right now, I would keep the numbers on the lower end.
Okay.
Just to be safe.
How do you go about that? Because that actually came up as another question before. You've got to restructure your guest list now. So do you send out to people you've already invited, like hey, you're not allowed to come? What do you think the proper way of doing that is?
Personally, again, I think people understand.
Yeah.
People do understand, and these are special circumstances.
Yep.
It wasn't what you intended.
Yeah.
We've had to make changes.
Yeah.
Everybody's having to adjust.
Probably less painful than it seems, right?
In all honesty, a lot of the guests are kind of okay, right? They're kind of okay.
Some might not feel safe. Yeah.
They may not feel safe coming out.
Yeah.
Trying to protect themselves. They're, people with health issues or underlying conditions that want to stay on safe for themselves. If you have an option to stream your wedding, I think that's a nice to have, something that might not have been considered pre-COVID, but if you have that as an available option, making sure that you've got the streaming available. We can help you set that up as well.
Great.
Make sure that you've got the right vendors and the right equipment to ensure that you can get it streamed.
Great. So then kind of communicating with your guests.
Correct.
And then what?
Honestly, at that point, once we've got the vendors, we've got the date, we've selected a date. If you do have to cancel on a vendor, so before, it's kind of a little bit step back. Let them know as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I think it's important to understand that we too have all been thrown by a loop for this.
Yeah.
Contracts were written.
Yep.
Reschedules are possible because of the situation, but they're not typical.
Yeah.
And so keep in mind that you may not be able to reschedule them and you may not be getting a refund.
Yeah. Okay. So to kind of keep an open mind, it might not look like the wedding you wanted, but...
Correct. It may not look like exactly like the wedding that you wanted.
Yeah.
But the most important part of any wedding is the love that the couple shares.
Yeah.
And so as long as that's still there.
But it's still possible to have a great day, and that's what
absolutely. My ultimate joy is making sure that the couple is having a great day.
No matter what the situation
wedding is, no matter what the wedding is, what's happening in the world around them. This wedding day will be special because it's about you. Amazing.
Have you seen any fun COVID, tips? Decorations, weddings. I know a lot of people are doing the masks.
They're doing the masks. We've got some special masks.
Creative.
There's some special signs that you could have, making sure that everybody understands. Like, does this person want to be approached? Does this person not want to be approached? Yeah. So bracelets that might indicate your level of.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, so that one's a fun one that I've seen. Tip. Like I like that one.
So that there doesn't have to be an awkward conversation. You're just like,
exactly. Okay,
social distance.
I know you're red. We're going to stay 6 feet apart. Yeah. I know you're yellow. That means that we can at least talk with masks on, etc.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Or have some games that you're playing that might be about the couple specifically. Yeah. I mean, we've played games in the past. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the shoe game and that kind of thing. But, you can play games that make it at least, we can all sit at our table, but at least we can still enjoy each other's company and make it still be about the couple.
Yeah, if you have creative friends, have them give a little concert, musician friends or something. Yeah, okay, great.
It's on a moving target, and so it is important to keep track of what is happening.
Yeah.
Updates are happening regularly, daily in some cases.
Yep.
So the rules from last week may not apply this week.
Yeah. So be flexible.
Be flexible.
Be flexible and keep track.
And understand that it is something that is we're all learning every day.
Yeah. And we'll get better someday.
We will.
we will get back to regular weddings, hopefully.
We definitely will.
Yeah, gotta stay positive during these times, right? Well, thank you so much. This has been really informative because I know we've had a lot of questions about just COVID weddings because obviously that's what we're dealing with now.
Absolutely.
And we've adapted. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Again, yeah, amazing. Check us out. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and thank you so much for watching.